and welcome to the Cult Cinema Circle podcast. My name is Jesse, and I'll be your host. So today we're going to go over what I watched in the month of November. So I hope everyone had a good November, good beginning of the holiday, if you will. You know, we had Thanksgiving and Black Friday, if you are to indulge in those. I don't really do much for those holidays, really. I mean, we did have some dinner, you know, and some leftovers after that. But other than that, I mean, it's not like it's a huge holiday for me or anything like that. But I did get some watching in, you know, I got some stuff watching in. It was cool. And, you know, that'll be all fine and well of what we have. And then also, this month in December, it'll be interesting because, of course, I'm going to be doing a lot of like watching of like just wintry horror movies and like, you know, that kind of stuff probably. So that'll be a fun time. And also just trying to get ready for the new year and, you know, all that kind of stuff. If I already mentioned it before on a little like update episode. I will be taking the month of January off, so I will just make sure to reiterate that. I'm pretty sure I reiterated it here in that other little update episode, and also at the end of the month on my last episode. I think I mentioned it. So needless to say, I'm not recording anything or doing anything next month, and then in February, I'm moving to doing bi-weekly episodes. So that'll be fine and well, and it'll be all good. But now, without further ado, though, let's get into what I watched in November. So what I started off with was actually from this year, and I've been meaning to watch it, and I decided to pull up on Clown in a Cornfield from 2025. This movie is by Eli Craig, same guy who gave us Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, so that's a fun little movie. Also, literally Sally Field's son, which is kind of fun. It was also based off of a book by Adam Caesar, and this is about Quinn and her father. They moved to this place called Kettle Springs, and they find out that, you know, there's some shit going down. There's like a whole there's just some crazy stuff going on. There's a clown named Friendo who's coming to beat your ass, I guess, you know, things like that. So yeah, it's an interesting little movie. It's got, you know, like it's got Will Sasso in it. That's fun. Kevin Durand's in here real quick, you know, a couple other young people. I thought this movie was pretty cool. It was on Shudder. And I liked it. I gave it 3 and a little heart. I didn't like hate my watch of this movie. I mean, obviously it's very much like a Gen Z kind of movie, when I'm not that. But I did enjoy it for what it was, and it was a good time. I thought some of the what was it? One of the guys in here, I don't remember what it was. I think it was who was it? Cole and Rust, I believe. If you know, you know. But like, I also just think like, some of the men were kind of fun to look at too. That was always cool. So yeah, I would recommend Clown in a Cornfield. It's really not that bad of a film. I think some people really fucking hated it, I guess, but I actually didn't hate it, honestly. The next thing I watched was actually for an episode that you'll be hearing tomorrow, or whenever you're hearing this, it'll probably go up today. But like, I did Almost Famous from 2000, so I recorded an episode on that with Mark J. Parker of Release Date Rewind. So yeah, if you don't already know, this is a movie from Cameron Crowe, the same guy who gave us like Say Anything and like Jerry Maguire and stuff. But this is based kind of on his real life, because Cameron Crowe actually was a teenage music journalist for like Rolling Stone and like other things. So yeah, this is a very personal story to him in a way. We follow William Miller in this movie, played by young Patrick Fugit in his debut role. He meets all different sorts of people. He travels with this band Stillwater, which is headed up by Billy Crudup, and then Jason Lee's there. But you have like Penny Lane in there too, who's Kate Hudson. It's a good little movie. I do like this film. I gave it a 3.5 and a heart, and I guess go listen to our episode about it. But yeah, I really do. There's something about this film that I think is really cool, and I think really captures just like a certain essence, I guess. And the music's really cool in it. You know, Cameron Crowe obviously cares a lot about this story because it is his story, and I think it's a good job. Like, I like that movie. I don't completely dislike it or anything. So yeah, definitely go pull up on Almost Famous for sure. The next thing I watched was actually from, it's a rewatch for me, of course. I was watching this. I don't know why exactly I decided to, but I decided to pull up on the Brady Bunch movie again. I rewatched this before. This is the movie from Betty Thomas. This is pretty much a parody of the Brady Bunch TV show brought to movie form. It has, Christine Taylor in it, Jennifer Elise Cox. It's got Shelley Long and Gary Cole as the parents. The Brady Bunch movie, girl. Come on now. I didn't watch the sequel, though. I didn't really feel like watching that. I think it was because it was for free on YouTube or something, or it was on Canopy or something like that. But yeah, no, I've decided to pull up on this because these are little, I think for myself, I gave this a 4.5 in heart. I just like these like silly, stupid movies, like, you know what I mean? And I just think they're so fun. So maybe I just needed it for some reason. I don't really know why, but that's what I watched. And also, yeah, I was going to say like TV shows I've been watching. I mean, not really. It's the same thing, Living Single, really. So, take that what you will. I got to the 4th season, so that's cool. And then I have one more season to go. So then I'll do that, and then maybe I'll try to do Friends, because I really haven't watched Friends like that. Maybe, we'll see. Living Single's so fucking good, though, y'all. It's very good. And I'm also pulling back up on Mad Men a little bit. I am trying to finish that. I'm on the 6th and 7th season. Damn it. I need to finish them. Anyway, that was TV Corner with Jesse. But anyway, next thing I watched after the Brady Bunch movie was actually for a episode I will be doing, which was Burlesque from 2010. Yes, this is the movie with Christina Aguilera and Cher, bitch. It is this movie, I had a great guest for this too as well. She was so fun. But the thing with Burlesque is that this movie was a recent watch for me this year, as you may well know. And I am just so fascinated. It's pretty much about a girl named Allie, played by I almost call her Kirsten Dunst. Wow. Christina Aguilera. And she leaves behind this Iowa town and follows her dreams to Los Angeles. And she becomes a cocktail waitress at this burlesque lounge. Then she becomes a burlesque performer, and all this shit happens, and it's crazy. And yeah, it is such an odd movie in a way. It's a dumb movie, honestly, but it's so fucking just fun to watch sometimes. Way too long. Why is this almost 2 hours? What is going on here? But you'll hear on the episode, we do like this film, but God, there are so many plot holes. Lots of good things going on, but yeah, you'll hear all about it, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah, that's what I watched, Burlesque. And then it's also in the West End right now. I think it's they're trying to do something with that. So yeah. Anyway, next thing I watched, because we did just do November, so I decided I wanted to pull up on this because I also did an episode on this movie. I pulled up on Pieces of April. So that is from 2003. That's a Katie Holmes movie. Peter Hedges was the guy who wrote it. It has Patricia Clarkson in it. It has, Oliver Platt and John Gallagher Jr. and Alice Drummond and all these things. And yeah, it's so good. It's a Thanksgiving movie. It's about April, who is living on her own with her boyfriend, and they live in this New York City apartment. It's low rent apartment pretty much, and she lives away from her family, who are just very emotionally distant, and pretty much it's her having to try to make a fucking turkey dinner for her family when her oven breaks, and that shit happens. So it's getting into the hijinks of all of that, so that's fun. But yeah, I really liked this movie. It has a certain level of heart to it that I liked. I gave it a 4 and a heart. I did not watch it on Thanksgiving again because I had already literally watched it already, so I didn't really feel like it. But I would say I'd probably watch this again on Thanksgiving or around this time, and I just really like it. I think I didn't know what to think about it at first, or when I had just known about it. But I really think after having watched it, I was like, oh no, this movie's really decent and good. Yeah, it's a fun time. So pull up on Pieces of April if you have not already done so. You definitely should. The next thing I watched was actually on Netflix because all of the movies were on here for this. I pulled up on the first movie in the Austin Powers series, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. And this is from 1997. This is the one that has Elizabeth Hurley in it. And this is about, Austin Powers. He is this British super agent by night. He's from the 60s, and fucking he goes and he has to try to tries to stop Dr. Evil, also played by Mike Myers, because Austin Powers is Mike Myers. And yeah, I almost called her Victoria Kensington, Vanessa Kensington, played by Elizabeth Hurley. Yeah, she's there as like his sidekick, and it's a whole thing. And like, yeah, these movies, I'm gonna tell you right now, I only ever watched Goldmember when I was a kid, like when I was younger. And I had not seen the first two Austin Powers movies. I was gonna try and watch The Spy Who Shagged Me. I didn't really watch it though, so maybe I'll try it again some other time. But I did finish the first one, and this was like a fine little movie. I gave it a 3. I didn't like hate it or anything, but I am also like, I feel like maybe I might like the second one a little bit more if I actually give it a chance to watch it. But this was kind of a fun thing, and it's so weird to me that like it just kind of shows that like in a way, for whatever reason, I guess, like when you've been on something like SNL, I mean, I don't really know if it was not for having someone like Mike Myers in this, like would these movies have even done quote well, I guess, right? Like that's what I kind of wonder sometimes. But yeah, these are a certain type of comedy for sure. Not going to work for everybody, but I thought it was a fine watch, and they were, like I said, all on Netflix, so I decided to pull up. So that was fun. The next thing I watched was actually, it's been on my list for a minute, so I am so glad I finally got to it. I watched Carol from 2015. This is a Todd Haynes movie. It's one of his more recent ones. This is about, I like had Sarah Paulson. I think it was Interview Magazine, or it was Vanity Fair. I think it was Vanity Fair. It was her and Niecy Nash Betts, and they're in a show together. Obviously now All's Fair or whatever, that terrible show that people don't like. I don't know it, so I don't know. Anyway, but we love Sarah Paulson, of course, and we love Niecy Nash Betts, obviously. And so, but one of the things they were like tasked with like asking questions to each other back and forth or something like that. And one of the ones, the answers to the question was Carol, or one of them was. It was like that and 12 Years a Slave. It was like the movies that were Oscar nominated that Sarah has been in. And she just like talks about how she describes this movie to Niecy as two lesbians lesbianing. And I just want to know, for any of the lesbian listeners out here, I would just like to know, what is lesbianing? What does that constitute? I would think it'd be like gentle hand touches, or like longing stares. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. But please, the lesbians, I need you to let me know what constitutes as lesbianing. Okay. And drop it in like my DMs or something. I don't know. But anyway, back to Carol. So I watched Carol, and Carol fucking rocked. I really liked it. It's about this young lady named Therese. Okay. She's Rooney Mara. And you have Carol Aird, played by Cate Blanchett, the only Cate Blanchett. And yeah, like Sarah Paulson's in here. She plays like her Carol's friend, who's also her lover as well, because lesbians. It's so fucking good, bro. But yeah, this like department store clerk, played by Rooney Mara, she dreams of a better life for herself. She falls in love with an older married woman who's actually separated from her husband. Harge Aird. What kind of fucking name is that? But anyway, so yeah, no, Carol was really cool. I also think this is like almost 2 hours, but I don't care. I kind of liked it. It's a fun Christmas movie. Definitely watch this in Christmas. Oh, hell yeah. You should definitely watch that if you're into it. I also said I need more Cate Blanchett pointing a gun at men's cinema, because if you know, you know. But yeah, I need more of that. I love Cate Blanchett. I have not watched all of her movies. Listen, I haven't pulled up on Tar yet. I have not pulled up on all of the movies of her yet, but I liked this one, and I also I actually like The Gift from Sam Raimi. There, I said it. But yeah, she's in that one too, so liked it. Anyway, whatever. The next thing I watched was actually for an episode this month. I'm not covering this movie, but let's say I'm covering a film, and you'll know about it once you see my posts about it or whatever. But the movie I'm covering is kind of a little bit of a remake of this movie, which is A Hard Day's Night from Richard Lester. That is the Beatles movie, okay? This is about how those crazy scamps, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, they are just going out and having adventures in 1964 London, I guess, and being fucking the Beatles. Yeah, I think for me, like, I don't really have much to say about this movie. I think I gave it a 3. I did give it a 3. And it was cool. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I wanted to watch this before I also covered the film that I'm going to be covering as well. And yeah, that's all fine and well. But like, I just was like, it's fine. But I was also thinking to myself, I was like, this isn't the Criterion Collection? Like, what? Like, I don't know. It was just kind of like, I understand why it's important because it's the Beatles, right? Like, and it's a movie of theirs. But I was like, well, is fucking everything that the Beatles did in the fucking Criterion Collection? I don't see Yellow Submarine up in there. I don't see, like, what, you know what I mean? Anyway, but yeah, it was fine. I did not hate Hard Day's Night. One Day's Night. Wow. I didn't hate it, but at the same time, I was also just like, it was fine. It's a movie. It says I rewatched this. When did I rewatch it? When have I watched this movie before? You know what it probably was? I probably like said I watched it one day and something. Anyway, it's fine. Whatever. The next thing I watched was actually because of my sister. She said I should watch it. And, I decided to pull up on Sweet Home Alabama because we just talked about it in It Takes Two, because the same guy who did It Takes Two, Andy Tennant, he also directed this movie. This is a Reese Witherspoon movie. All right. It's about Melanie Carmichael. Okay. She's a fashion designer. She is going to get married to Patrick Dempsey and whatever. But then you have some secrets because she actually moved from Alabama. And she has a fucking redneck of a husband that refuses to divorce her. And, you have some shit going down. She's got to go back to Alabama to get some shit taken care of. And, I don't know. What did I say my thoughts on this movie were? I'm just trying to remember what I think it was like a YouTube video. Let me see what I did. Girl, listen. Oh, wait, no, I think it was. I know what it was. So I just like, God, I'm stupid. Anyway, no, my thoughts on the movie were me just like putting a video to the burning of the plantations that recently happened. That was just what I thought, because there's a lot of there's some plantations in this movie, which is interesting. I was like, okay. I also said I needed more gay Ethan Embry. Spoiler alert, I guess. He's in this movie and he plays a gay guy. And also more Southern Melanie Lynskey, because she's in this movie, and Jean Smart. Girl, I wanted more of them. I'm not even gonna lie. Because also I was like, I didn't really like Melanie a whole lot. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But it's one of those things. And then I was like, who the hell's Josh Lucas? Like, I don't even know who that is, hardly. I was like, Patrick Dempsey, I know who that is, but I was just like, okay. And then Courtney Gaines was kind of fun to see because I still think he's kind of like cute looking. For those who don't know, he is like a fucking Malachi or some shit from like the Children of the Corn movies. He's also in that Can't Buy Me Love movie too. That whole thing. But so the thing with this movie, Sweet Home Alabama, is I didn't really care for it a whole lot, honestly. And I love a rom-com. Like, I actually do kind of like rom-com. We'll talk about it in a minute. But I just wasn't like the biggest on it. I don't know. It just wasn't that interesting to me, and I just was kind of like, okay, so I'm supposed to like care about Melanie and what she's doing, I guess. I don't know. I just wasn't. It didn't charm me very well, honestly, and I was just kind of not all that into it, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, so yeah, if you want to go watch Sweet Home Alabama, that's up to you, but I will probably not be watching that again. The next thing I watched is Listen, I pulled up on, probably because she did just pass away, Diane Keaton, rest in peace. I decided to pull up on the movie that, I mean, she won a literal Oscar for, and also like kind of really like did her career very well. I pulled up on Annie Hall from 1977. This is a Woody Allen movie, for those who may not know. And if you couldn't already tell from just how I lean politically or anything, or just how I feel about things in general a lot of the time, Woody Allen can go fuck off into hell, for all that. And I had only ever watched one of his movies. I watched Mighty Aphrodite. That was the one with Mira Sorvino where she won an Oscar in it, or for it, I guess. And so, and again, Diane won for this. And, it's one of these things. So it's literally just about this like comedian / writer dude, Alvy, played by Woody Allen. And he falls in love with this ditzy Annie Hall, played by Diane Keaton, whose literal name is Anne Hall, pretty much. If you didn't already know that, that's her name. So like, it's interesting. But, I ended up giving this a 3.5 because the thing is what makes this interesting is Diane Keaton, truly. Because I'm not shocked by this, but I'm not the hugest on Woody Allen in these movies, and I probably won't be that big on him, to be honest. I feel like if anything else, I would be more interested in I guess like any of the other characters that could be there, right? So I'm interested in Diane Keaton in this movie. I'm interested in like, you know, Shelley Duvall or who's in this, and Carol Kane, and like all these different people. Like I think I'm a little more interested in them than maybe I am Woody Allen's characters. Same thing with like Mira Sorvino. I kind of liked her character more than I liked Woody Allen's in that, and also Helena Bonham Carter. I kind of liked her too, or like Michael Rappaport, because ew. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. So there is part of me that wants to, like, you know, I do want to watch some of his other films. I understand that he comes with a whole lot of bullshit, but I also am just like, I don't know, like, I want to try it, if anything. So yeah. What I watched next was, I feel like I was going through it at this time, just because of some things, nothing bad, but like, you know, I needed comfort in my life and comfort films. And these next two films, which are both rewatches for me, are kind of little like comfort films for me. I pulled up on In and Out from 1997, which is the Kevin Kline movie, and Joan Cusack's in it. And it's about like this guy who, fucking his former student wins an Oscar and pretty much outs him at the Oscars, and then it becomes this media circus or whatever the hell. And it's such a fun fucking movie. It's a quick 90 minutes. It's a Frank Oz movie, bitch. It's Joan Cusack. Like, it's just so many things. Kevin Kline, who I think is the superior Kevin a lot of the times, not like Kevin Bacon or anything, but like when I think of like Kevin Spacey, like, oh my God, Kevin Kline knocks Kevin Spacey out of the park. Are you kidding me? But anyway, so yes, it's like, I think he's unproblematic, so that's good. In and Out is so fucking good. I love that movie, and I think I needed it for sure. And then for some reason the same day I decided to watch one of my favorite rom-coms, because I do think it is kind of a rom-com, but it's great, is My Best Friend's Wedding. And I gave this a 4.5 and a heart. This is by the same person who did Muriel's Wedding. This is about Julianne, played by Julia Roberts. Listen, I don't know what you think about Julia Roberts, listener, but like, I actually don't mind Julia Roberts, honestly. Not in everything, but like, goddamn, if I can't get behind this fucking movie, Pretty Woman, and fucking Erin Brockovich, bitch. All of those movies bangers. So it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm turning into your mom. I have no idea. Whatever, it's fine. But you have Julianne up in this bitch, her best friend, fucking, what's his name? Michael, Dermot Mulroney. He's like getting fucking married or some bullshit. He's getting married to Cameron Diaz. And then fucking just all this crazy bullshit happens. And she's trying to break up the marriage, bitch. It's a whole thing. Anyway, so I love this fucking movie. I gave it a 4.5 and a little heart. I still love this movie. I don't care. It's just something where I can't help but just enjoy it, I guess. It's just something in me where I'm just like, it's such a good little movie that I like, and whatever, it's fine. But yeah, so I feel like I needed those for my little like comfort watching things, because I was like, no, I need this for sure. The next thing I watched was actually because I guess every so often I get these nice emails from Film Movement, which is like I don't know if it's a newsletter or I'm on their list or something for like publicity or something. Anyway, but I got this like, and sometimes I get emails about like different movies that are coming into streaming, and like maybe if I can get I could try to get a link for them to watch them, beforehand or whatever. And this one, because I've gotten a few of the random ones and I've been able to watch some things through them, which is cool. But this one kind of interested me. I decided to pull up on, because this documentary from 1999 will be streaming somewhere. I don't know exactly where. Let me go check real quick. Let me go check my email. Hold on. So this is, I believe, let's see, starting the 12th of December, this film, the Lost Remastered Festival version, will be on VOD and digital. And this is WAD, The Life and Times of John C. Holmes. This is from Omnibus Entertainment, I believe. And so this is going to now be on digital soon. So if you want to go and pull up on it, you can do so. Now you may be wondering, Jesse, what the fuck is that? Well, John C. Holmes, for those who may not know, he was a very well-known porn star from the pretty much 70s, I guess. I would say that was like kind of his heyday in the 80s, I guess. And he is known as having pretty much the biggest dick, okay? Because he's like a fucking big ass dick, okay? You see it in this movie, by the way. So it's like a whole thing. So get ready for that. But if you haven't seen it, but this is from 1999. And I was like tangentially aware of this movie in a way, but for also maybe those who don't know, if you're a Paul Thomas Anderson fan, you would already know that Boogie Nights is based off of, John Holmes is a part of that story because, the murders that go on, they talk about the murders in this movie, things like that. You'll find all about that. So if you've ever seen Boogie Nights, this is kind of interesting because they also talk to PTA in this movie too, which is interesting. But what I thought was, I just said this was a fascinating look into a weird man. And it really is, because I had never seen this before, right? And so this is like, but it's so fascinating because like this guy, he was just like a pathological liar. Okay. We hear from a few people. So we hear from his first wife named Sharon Holmes. Okay. And then we hear from his teenage mistress. That's right. He had a mistress who lived with him and his wife. Okay. And that whole thing, who he like pretty much abused, honestly. And she talks about that. He then had a second wife who's also in the film as well, who was also a porn actor, I think. So that's a whole thing. It's just really weird. He grew up in and what I found interesting, I guess, was like really like mostly was Sharon so it was Sharon and Dawn. That's who it was. So Dawn is the mistress and then Sharon's the wife or whatever, right? So, but they were both in blackout, so you couldn't actually see their faces, right? And they just fascinated me, just those two specifically talking about this man since they knew him so intimately, you know what I mean? And yeah, there's other people in the movie, like they talked to Paul Thomas Anderson, they talked to like some of the other people who had worked with John and like all this kind of stuff. But I really found that the interesting parts of this documentary were with the former wife and also the former like teen mistress and stuff like that. It's fucking crazy and weird. I will also say, so yes, you do see his big old dick in this movie. However, I will also say, all right, so for those who may not know, like the Wonderland murders, you can go look all that up if you want to. But John was sort of kind of there and whatever. It's a whole thing. I'm sure if you've seen Boogie Nights, you know about it. If you looked up true crime stuff, you know about this. Okay, so if you're going to watch this fucking movie, just be aware that you will see like literal crime scene footage, like video footage of like the fucking dead bodies, by the way, that happened there. So just be aware of that. I wasn't aware of it. And then I'm here watching this on my fucking phone or whatever. And here I am like, I don't know, like however, I don't remember how long this is. What is it? Like 105 minutes. So I'm here like, 80 something minutes in or 70 something minutes in or something like that. And then they're talking about these murders and all this stuff. And then you just see motherfucking bodies. So just be aware of that. I'm not saying it's like, I'm not, Wesley Emerson or whoever you are, you made like porn movies and stuff and you made this documentary. I'm not mad at you for it. I'm just saying, I was like, I just didn't know, girl. I just didn't know. So yes, so just be aware if that sort of thing is not something you want to see, just be aware of that, okay? And then you can decide if you want to actually watch this movie. Honestly, find this movie for free somewhere. I don't know if I pay for it, so I don't know. Maybe if you want to let me know, maybe I can give you the link. I don't know. Anyway, but it was really interesting. I will say that the documentary was very fascinating, and I'm always into that kind of shit, like trying to find out about like just stuff I've never been a part of. I've never been in a fucking porn movie or nothing, so I don't, it's interesting. Anyway, so On the same side of porn, I was pulling up on this movie called Pink Narcissus, and I can just leave it at that. I really don't know what to say about this movie. It's a very it's told as an outrageous erotic poem focusing on the daydreams of a beautiful boy prostitute who, from the seclusion of his ultra kitsch apartment, conceives a series of interlinked narcissistic fantasies populated by matadors, dancing boys, slaves, and leather-clad bikers. Sure it does. Okay. This is from the 70s. This is like a very artsy house movie. You definitely see some penis. You definitely see some jerking off, like all that kind of stuff, because I thought, why the hell not, baby? Let's do it. But yeah, so that's what I pulled up on, I guess, which was kind of interesting. Wasn't that I feel like it was a literal day of Thanksgiving or something. I just pulled up on that. I don't know why I did, but yeah, that's what I decided to watch. The next thing I watched was actually, I think, when was the 28th, right? That was Friday. Okay, yes. So that was actual Black Friday. So yes, Pink Narcissus was Thanksgiving. Because I wasn't doing anything on Thanksgiving, by the way. Like, we weren't having dinner or anything that day because we did that over the weekend. But, for Black Friday, I watched The Day Trippers from 1996. This is a film. It is actually takes place on Black Friday. This is about it's about, what's her name? Hope Davis. She is married to this guy, Stanley Tucci, Lewis, and then she goes on this pretty much crazy journey with her family. And Mira, who is Ben Stiller's mother, is in this movie as the mom in this family. Parker Posey is a sister. Liev Schreiber is Parker Posey's boyfriend at the time in this movie. And Campbell Scott, or I think that's who it is. Oh wait, no, Pat McNamara, that's who it is. I think that is like the father in this film or whatever. And then you have like all these other people. You have Marcia Gay Harden's in this movie real quick. This movie was just like so fucking interesting. And they just get to meet a bunch of weird people along the way. They go to like an interesting party. God, it's just like all these different things going on. And it is really interesting that I liked this movie. It's interesting. I mean, I only remember so much of what happens in it. I only watched it a few days ago, but it was one of these things where I feel like I would definitely pull up on this again in these times. That there's a certain level of chilliness there. It's right around these holidays, so I'm kind of into that. And it is very much just kind of a crazy day movie, that kind of a thing. It all takes place in the span of a day. So I don't know. I liked it personally. I was not completely opposed to it. So yeah, check out The Day Trippers for sure. I would recommend, especially if you're a Parker Posey person, or you are I don't know if you really like Hope Davis, I guess, I don't know, or whatever. I think it is definitely worth a watch. It's kind of an interesting little movie. And then the next thing and the last thing I watched for the month was for an upcoming episode that I'm doing for Music Month. I decided to pull up and watch again Hedwig and the Angry Inch from John Cameron Mitchell. For those who may not know, this movie is about a young lad played by, he's a young lad in East Berlin. This Hansel, he goes a personal transformation to Hedwig in order to immigrate to the United States, where she reinvents herself as an internationally ignored but divinely talented rock diva inhabiting a beautiful gender of one. And yeah, this little movie is it's so fascinating. I gave this a 3.5 and a little heart, and you'll hear more about it on my episode that I do. But yeah, I like this little movie. I think the songs are really good. I think John Cameron Mitchell did such a good job at imbuing a certain level of heart to this movie. They're just their own experiences to this film, and there's a lot going on in here in a way. And I really liked our conversation we had, me and my guest, about this film. And it's such a cool little movie. When I first watched it, I wasn't like cold on it or anything, but now that I actually own it, I have it on Criterion. And I've been able to just like see it again. I really do. I really can understand why a lot of people really like this movie, or it really hit them at a certain point in their life, especially when there just weren't a whole lot of people or representations of this sort of in between gender queer type of person, where that's kind of where Hedwig lives in a way. So it's interesting, to say the least. So yeah, but definitely pull up on that. That will actually be the last episode of the year. Fun enough. So that'll be a good time. And that's everything I watched in the month of November, y'all. Okay, that's what I did. So yeah, definitely didn't watch as maybe much, but I'm happy with what I did though. Again, there was a lot. This is always a crazy time, not even for the holidays, just like in general with like, you know, working and just like also trying to do stuff with the holidays and whatever. You know, there's a lot going on, but I do try to carve out some time to watch some shit and to be able to have that. And like I said, I was watching Living Single a lot for like just fun sitcom time. Mad Men will also be kind of like fun drama time that I can watch like when I want to get lost in that. That's kind of fun too. But yeah, that is. And like I said before, we have Music Month coming up, so you will be hearing more about that, or you'll be hearing episodes about that, obviously, so that'll be fun. I do have to try to edit some of those episodes a little bit. I have a lot of them recorded except for one of them, which I will be doing at some point. But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, I don't know. But what I want to hear from you though is like, what did you watch last month? You know, did you watch anything fun? Do you have any recommendations of something you may have watched that I should check out? What are you planning on watching this month? You know, like I am planning on watching definitely wintry type movies. I'm always into horror, so Christmas horror is always fun. I definitely want to watch like Somewhere Where Go is. Obviously, I'm gonna watch that probably around Christmas if I don't already, I don't know, buy it for myself or something. I don't know. Or if I can stream it somewhere, that would be best. But there's that. I'm obviously gonna pull out 200 cigarettes like at New Year's Eve, of course. So yeah, but yeah, let me know what you were watching last month. What should I watch? I think I'm going to try and do the Horror Queers little advent calendar they have going on, which is nice. It's going to be like broken up like every other day. So we'll see how that all goes, because then I can also throw in stuff like when it's not a day I'm watching a movie for that, I can also throw in some other fun stuff. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, with all that being said, everybody, though, as you already know, you can go follow me on social media at Cult Cinema Circle, and you do the same on Blue Sky if you want to. You can follow the show and give me 5 stars and a 1 to 2 sentence review. However you want to tell me about the show, I guess. You could professionally email me at cultcinemacircle@gmail.com, or whatever you want to do. So I'm all there. But until next time, everyone, I will catch you all on the next episode next month. But have a great holiday, everyone. Stay safe out there and take care. Bye-bye.